Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you might be. We are on Twitter 3 times apparently this morning. I don't exactly know how that happens, but we are. So, how are you this morning, Christos? I know it's been a long couple weeks. Well, my oldest got sent home from school with COVID. Oh, Christos, they say you're muted. You shouldn't be muted. I see you on I see your noise bars. I don't know why you're muted, but you know what? I have a quick fix this time because I was anticipating that this could happen. So, try now.
How about now? Can you guys hear me? Hello. I was saying that I'm happy that I have somebody to talk to other than the audience, which are awesome out there. But when you do the stream and you don't hear any other voices, it's weird. It's like talking to yourself.
So one way to fix that is to hear voices all the time. That'd be good. We can figure that out.
Is there an app for that?
So anyway, yeah, it's nice to be back. My oldest was sent home from school because he was exposed to COVID, somebody in his class. He didn't get sick, but the rest of us did. I don't know how that happens, but, my youngest got sick, my daughter got sick, my wife got sick, I got sick, and the one who was exposed to COVID didn't, but they had to go get tests and we're all negative. So I don't know. It's probably just the fact that school's back. And I live in one of those states where nobody cares about anybody else, so there are no mask mandates or anything. And so my kids are wearing them because my son was home for 2 weeks and was like, oh, my God, this is miserable doing school at home. So he's like, I guess I'm going to wear my mask again. I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So they are, at least everybody's back to school for now. Who knows how long before.
They're back at school now? That's been 2 weeks since he was off?
Well, it was weird. So it was it last month? No, it wasn't last month. It was 2 Mondays ago when a kid got exposed. They sent home like 6 or 7 kids. And then all week long, they sent home more kids. And then he and one other kid were the last 2 to go home on like Thursday or Friday. Mm-hmm. But by then, there were like 14 or 16 out of 20-some kids at home.
Damn.
So all he had to do his school from, what's it called? Like his iPad, which he hated. So,
who doesn't?
Which I kind of don't blame him. Like sitting around an iPad all day, like tapping the thing, trying to do schoolwork. It just feels like it wouldn't be very, And he'd get bored.
When your friends are at school as well at the same time, that can actually screw you up, right?
He did tell me, however, he was very proud of himself. He came downstairs. He said, "Dad, I figured out how I can chat with my friends on WebEx when the teacher's talking and she doesn't know." So.
Leave it to the kids. And we'll find a way.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's cool to be back. Like, my wife is like, "Oh my God, you sound disgusting whenever you laugh." I'm like, well, I don't see how this is any different from normal, but,
you're getting back to normal slowly. And that's good.
I should probably quit smoking. The whole respiratory virus thing doesn't work very well with cigarettes, but,
You say you quit smoking?
I would have.
That's amazing.
I said I probably should. I said if I could, I would, but it's hard.
And also take up some exercise and improve diet.
Yeah, there are 3 things in life that I've found are incredibly difficult: quitting smoking, having or eating correctly, and exercising. And
you can only choose 2 of the 3.
and raising children.
That's 4.
So, well, I lump eating well and exercising into one thing of, lifestyle changes. But
is it like software? Is it like software? You can have it cheap, fast, or good. You can only choose 3. 2 out of the 3. Are you doing the same with this? Like, can I only have kids, good, or what was the other one?
So I did quit smoking a few years ago, and I quit for like 18 months. But then I had a boss who smoked like a freight train, and there were only 4 of us working together, and it was like, well,
influences, man, peer pressure.
Yeah. I think this time it would be successful because I don't know anyone who smokes.
In our team, you went to the exact opposite. Our boss
Yeah.
is an ex-triathlete. I'm doing
Yeah.
triathlons. Next, you'll be doing triathlons. Who knows?
I know. You can imagine what it's like when we have our internal meetings and everybody's silently judging me. They're like, "Oh, JP got up to go have a cigarette again." Ugh.
No
Ugh.
judgment. No judgment. No
So,
judgment. Yeah, fun times,
anyway.
man.
So, you got any news this week?
How's the weather today? How's the weather today?
Here, it's actually not too bad.
Good. No
it's like
thunderstorms.
82.
No. Okay.
No, it's 82. It's kind of breezy. It's not super humid, which has been absolutely miserable here for a week. So it's nice to be back to. We might actually get a little bit of a fall time here, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. But we'll see. So you got any news this week? I only have a couple minor things.
I had one item that came to me yesterday, or as I was looking at Hiker News. God damn, my internet is playing up. I'm telling you,
What's wrong?
is. I saw things spinning up, which means that I was buffering for a while. But I'm back now, right? On Tuesday I had the same issue. I don't know if it's Restream or if it's us.
I didn't see you buffering.
Oh, you didn't see me buffering? Okay. Yeah. Identity interventions, says Corey Call.
Isn't that what this whole show is? Oh my God, somebody's asked for help, and we're out looking at what happened. We're like, oh my God, how do we get out of this one?
Yes. So the item that I came across was that there is a GitHub action called Spell Checker, and it has opened up a hacking door where people can actually run that and send a pull request. And when that action runs, they actually get access to the GitHub keys, and they can use that to perform actions on your GitHub repos. I'll find the link and I'll put in here. It's not on it was on the top 10 of Hacker News yesterday. And apparently we use it, quite a few big companies use it for their nightly builds and stuff, which means that you can even inject malicious code into the repo using that method. I think it was being patched. So that
I
was
remember when we did a lot with managed identities on GitHub Action Runners. There were a lot of gates you had to clear for how you wanted to set up your runner, like which actions are you allowed to run, and who at what point should this happen. Like you probably wouldn't want to have a self-hosted runner running on pull, for example.
Yeah.
You'd only want it on things that were actually in things you'd actually merged into your tree and stuff. And
yeah,
that kind of sucks. That's awful.
Yeah, I define everything for. Yeah, that was the only set of news. I haven't seen anything being published, so I'll keep on looking while we do the show, and then if there's anything else, I'll make sure I put it up there. Yeah.
The Matrix 4 trailer hit yesterday.
Oh yes.
I'm very excited about this.
I am very excited about it.
I'm so excited. I watched John Wick.
Back?
Yeah.
All three.
Although I'm a little, just the first one. I'm a little disappointed that Lawrence Fishburne isn't in it though. They said he wasn't. He said he wasn't asked. I'm like, how do you not ask Morpheus back? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Everybody else joining, like the old crew, is still joining there.
A lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's kind of. But like Carrie Ann Moss will be back. Obviously, Canoe. And then some new people. Is that Neil Patrick Harris? That guy.
Yes.
He looks like the choir master at the church I went to when I was a kid. They almost look the same. They kind of sound the same too.
I love the FBI agent. Trooper is asking, is the FBI agent coming back? No. And he's an Australian actor, right?
Agent Smith? He's not
Agent
back.
Smith.
There's some new guy. I'll tell you what, though. After watching The Matrix, Lord of the Rings was never the same when Agent Smith was also like the leader of the elves or whatever.
The Elf King, right?
Yeah. I was just waiting for him to like start referring to Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. I mean, that was the best part of Agent. Like, I could still feel my hair just jumping here, making the voice, right? Hugo
Yeah,
Weaving
Hugo.
was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yes.
Hugo Weaving. So now I want to
Yeah,
go
man.
watch The Matrix again tonight. Maybe I'll watch it again tonight.
If there was no copyright restrictions, we should do a party on Twitch and
Wait a
watch it
minute.
all together.
Can't you do a watch party on Twitch?
Can you do? I thought there was an issue with replaying
No,
copyrighted content.
no, there was. There's a way you could do Prime Video stuff. I don't know exactly how it works. So let's see.
Yes,
So
you can.
There's
So certainly
yeah. There's a way to do it. I don't know. We should have to look and see. But you don't play the video. You just like you and all your buddies, like everybody just gets together. I don't know. Might be kind of interesting. Everybody
People
watching
watching
needs
need
an
an
account.
account, says Charlie Dev. See, Charlie Dev is on the ball there. He knows.
Yeah.
No, JP was not on vacation. Although does health vacation count? He was off because he was sick, so we had to give him time off. Otherwise, he wouldn't recover, and he's still recovering.
Yeah, I just sat in a bunch of meetings all week, feeling not very well. So now I'm back. I mean, I was on vacation and I guess I got some sun, but that was like a month ago. So.
I think that's that's fading. That has already gone from your skin, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, like my grandmother's Argentine, so luckily we managed to tan up fairly well when we do go to the beach. But
so you don't
turn. Every time I go to the beach, Greenpeace shows up. They start trying to roll me back into the ocean. I'm like, hey, what are you leave me alone? You know, like a manatee or something. You know. So, but anyway, yeah. So the Matrix 4 trailer's out. I'm super excited about it, and
thinking about Matrix 4. Wait, Matrix 4. The first Matrix came out when 2000. Was it 2000? No, it was 1990 something, right?
I think it was 99.
Tapes were still cool back then, right? Thinking about.
I'm sure you could buy the soundtrack on a tape if you wanted to. Yeah, it came out in 1999. 1999. I was 14. Yeah.
22 years ago. Some people were not alive when the first one, like many people were not alive, but many people in the audience may well not have been alive while the movie came out. By the way,
yeah, we're going to. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I was doing Toastmasters this week, and the topic was rock legends. So one of the people in the team Toastmasters about public speaking and stuff, and we had to do impromptu topics. And the topic was like, would you choose between the Rolling Stones and the Beatles? And he's like, I never heard of the Rolling Stones.
What? Well, you never heard of the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, he was like 22, man. He was like, who are the Rolling Stones? I'm like, okay, I'm showing my age now, but I mean, how could you not know the Rolling Stones?
There's a guy I used to work with years and years and years ago, and he's a huge Rolling Stones fan. And like, if you saw him coming to your desk, you're like, oh boy, like I better get some headphones on. I better get up, I say, use the bathroom or something. Because otherwise, I'm going to hear about, for the next hour, I'm going to hear about every single one of the Rolling Stones concerts he's been to. And he was like my dad's age. I mean, he's a nice guy, don't get me wrong. But he's like, I got so many bootleg concerts. Do you want a copy of them? I was like, no, I'm okay. I'll get what's out there. I can find
them on Spotify. I'm good.
Yeah. He brings over this like USB hard disk. And I mean, it's like gig after gig after gig.
USB hard disks. Remember back in the day when we would exchange them? Like when I was in university, people like I had a whole spindle of DVDs, and people would just burn you a movie. Like, yeah, do you wanna watch this movie? So I've got all these things burned out. I'll give you a copy. And I remember we were exchanging DVDs back in the day. Today I don't even have anything to play a DVD. Like I've got DVDs from back in the day, and I don't have anywhere to play them or CDs.
Well, so. It's funny you mention that. All right, so my sister-in-law, who has two kids, she sent us a box full of DVDs, and we were like, "What are we gonna do with these?" Because we don't have a DVD player either, and so I went to like Best Buy and bought a DVD, like a USB DVD thing. I thought, I'll rip them and then put them on like a Plex or something, and the kids can watch it that way. So I've had this DVD drive sitting in a box for Lord knows how long, right? Well, so my son was in the storage, like we get this little storage thing on the side of our basement with all, just boxes of wires and whatever. So he's like, I'm going to set up my own computer. So I go in there and he's got a monitor, he's got a keyboard sitting in front of it, and he's got a mouse. And he's like, I found a mouse pad, and it was the DVD player. He had no idea what it was for. It was completely,
man. Yeah.
We watched a TV show the other day, and it's like a live show, and there were commercials, and he's like, I don't know. He said, what is this? I don't want to watch this. I was like, no, it's an ad.
Our kids don't even know what commercials are. So we have Daxino on Microsoft Developer. Thanks for joining us. He says, I'm not too old. He was installing Street Fighter from floppy disks. By the way, we do not endorse piracy, so please do not copy copyrighted content into whatever and pass it around. But we were young and naive back then. Tape era was the era. I know, man. We would do like mixtapes, right? Nobody does mixtapes. That's a lost art today.
No.
Making a mixtape and passing it to your best friends or your crush. That was the thing.
I remember there was a Doom walkthrough book. And you bought it, like, you go to the store and you bought a physical book.
Page 35. How do I go?
And in the back of the book was an envelope that had the floppy disks for the Doom Shareware edition. And because I remember when I was a kid, I was like 10, and my dad would come wake me up when he was with his buddy. He's like, hey, can you get my Doom game going for me? And I remember sitting there trying to figure out what an IRQ was so I could get the Sound Blaster configured, 225.1. I'll never forget, port 220, IRQ 5, DMA 1. I'll never, ever, ever forget it. Just because
Dixon's.
I did it so many times.
So Charlie Dev is from Dixon's. That's back in the UK. That's
where?
not still around, is it? Dixon's. It was an electronic store. God, IRQ says Charlie Dev. Hey, man.
Interrupt request.
I remember LAN parties. I had a blast doing LAN parties at the university where we would play Age of Empires for days, nonstop. I missed work. I missed lessons. I missed classes. It was insane.
I think we should do like a 425 Age of Empires tournament because now granted I'm no good at Age of Empires, mind you, but I remember there was a cheat code that gave you a Shelby Cobra that had machine guns on it. And so I would just get like an army of 50 of these things and you just go mow everybody down. Like, man, this is a blast. You can do
and
this
the Persians are trying to build walls while you're just mowing them down with the machine gun.
It's like total domination. Oh, it's not very fun if you're playing against somebody who's doing that, but it's a blast if they're all yours. Yes. I mean, if all those Cobras are yours. I wish I could. It's like cheesesteak Jimmy's or something. I wish I could remember how do you turn this thing on? That was the cheat code. You just typed it in and bam. So, anyway, but the other bit of news, I did have another bit of news, I thought. Let me see. Let me look at my list. Oh, we're not going back to work anytime soon. So, I guess.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yesterday, I guess they said.
They said they're not going to put a date on it. They're not going to put a date on it, right?
Yeah, they're just like, we're not even going to try to guess the next date, so.
Who needs to know? I mean, we're having so much fun here.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. We should do like a gaming thing.
You should drive up, Shelly. If you can't fly, drive to Seattle.
Where? Drive to Seattle?
Yeah.
I wonder how long that would be.
Maybe 2 days. You're going diagonally through the U.S., right? So maybe 3 days.
Well, I was thinking about buying an RV.
My wife wants an RV.
Hang on. Let me go to Google Maps.
Also, she wants a camper van, not an RV. She wants the more compact ones. And she knows the categories, like you get a C or a C plus or a... I spent 4 hours traveling to the office to find out we have a secret office 20 minutes away from where I am, and nobody knew about it. How can you have a secret satellite office and you don't know about it, Bolt?
All right. So building 27. Okay.
We're not in building 27 anymore. By the time you make it up here, we'll be in Studio 8.
That's true. Well, okay, but I mean, the extra mile or two probably isn't going to matter. Okay. So let's see.
Oh, wow.
It's 41 hours.
That's not too bad.
41 hours. I'll stream.
That's
Yeah,
what we'll do
stream
the road
stream
trip.
the
Exactly.
trip.
We'll do streaming from location, and then it's like a road trip with your buddies, and then you can stop in every city or every state that you go, and then we'll do a stream from there.
Hey, if any of
From
you live
location.
along this route, we could stop and have a party. Have like nighttime
Exactly.
identity parties.
Or
Yeah,
go
see?
for a run, like a marathon.
I could do that. What are you doing? I'm running cross country to raise awareness for
For identity.
fat smokers who have respiratory problems, I guess. I don't know. For identity. That's right. That's right. Yeah, we could gumball it. It'd be fun. I don't know.
It goes.
We
So
should-
many
I don't know.
options.
I wonder if I can get somebody to sponsor it.
I don't know. We get our marketing to do it.
I would just put a big
The
Microsoft thing on the
answer
side of
to
the
the
car.
Can you sponsor? Can you sponsor JP so he can make it to Seattle?
So, I mean, let's see. 41 hours. So, if you were to cruise... So, if you went 10 to 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, over 2,700 miles, I mean, you could probably chop a good 6 or 7 hours off of that.
Yep.
And let's see, 41 hours. So if you drove 12 to 14 hours a day, you'd probably be there in three to 4 days. That's a long drive. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's a long drive. Why don't we meet in the middle? South Dakota. That's in the middle. There's nothing there, but we can meet there.
That is what is in South Dakota. Do we have anything to do in in the Dakotas?
Well, looking at the picture, it looks beautiful, but it looks rather empty. There's a farm equipment, and there's
This is
a
the
sculpture.
mid. This not even Midwest. This is the mid of the U.S. Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's an
I'm
opposite part.
I'm feeling a little bit better, Sahil. Thank you for asking. Just for whatever reason, it takes me a long time to get over colds, and I'm pretty sure this might just be a cold. So, there is an office in Fargo. Corey tells us that's true. We could stop in Fargo. Anyway,
go.
but yeah, so we're not going to the office anytime soon, which I'm not sure if I'm disappointed about or kind of was expecting anyway. But
Loka Samasta Sukino Bavantu, that's a very long name. He's asking whether there are any trains or a self-driving Tesla. So JP doesn't have a Tesla, and there are
do
trains,
not have a
but I
Tesla.
doubt you can go directly there. What, do you have a
yeah,
Tesla?
so
Are you getting
no,
one?
I do not. I do not. No. I mean, I drove one to my buddies, and it was a cool car, and I liked all the screen, like the big screen with all the buttons and all the cool stuff. Like, from the geek side of me, I was like, man, this is awesome. But no, I just couldn't. I don't know. There's just something about it. I just couldn't get down. Let's see if I can take a train to Seattle. I don't even know if I can.
I like how
depart?
people
I
are
don't
so keen on doing a 4 to 5 on tour. So maybe one of these days, while the weather is still holding, I can go to some lake here in Seattle, and I can be on location from there. I should have a 5G connection from there, and that should work, right? What do you
So
guys
let's
think?
see. So it's an 80-hour trip by train.
You have to go all the way up to Vermont, and then from there across with it. I suspect that this is it. Right? What is the direction that you have to take? Is it you to multiple trains? So even the first one has 3 trains or 3 segments.
Yeah.
The best place for Seattle backdrops. So I know a few Seattle backdrops that we can find. Net is cool, but
I mean,
I can grab my
$1,300.
how much?
That's $1,300. That's cheaper than I thought it would be. To be quite honest, I did see.
it's
Now here's what we
Fly-
ought to do.
You can fly for like 1/10 of that.
No, I know, but so there is one thing. I saw where Amtrak will carry. You can hook up to an Amtrak train, and they will carry you in a train car that you own for so many cents per mile. Yeah, and you
That's
just
insane.
stop and start whenever you want.
So Trooper is
Pretty-
in Manchester. Nice. There's a decent Wi-Fi on the train. Yeah. So you can actually stream from the train. Yeah, I don't think that's shared with the whole train. So that's why do you guys stream on Twitch? Where should we be streaming?
Is there
Is
somewhere
there
else?
a better place? Or somebody's gonna drop the bomb and it's like, no, the new cool thing is blah, and then we're totally out
No,
of it.
they're gonna say, "Why are you streaming?" Period. That'll be the next question.
11? Yeah, we're using Windows 11 for everything, both me and JP. That's absolutely right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is Windows 11. Yep. I like it. I think it's fine.
Did I
Although
tell
I've been
you-
in a.
Did I tell you that I got Windows 11 without even subscribing to the Insider's build? It was
Oh,
just
really?
pushed down to me one day. I woke up. I was like, wait a minute.
Nice.
Why is
Nice.
my main machine running Windows 11? I was waiting for it to be a little bit more mature, but at the same time, I haven't experienced any issues. Have you had any blue screens or anything else?
No, I haven't had any issues, although I can't get on the latest build because there's something with the Qualcomm Bluetooth thing or whatever. So every time it reboots, whenever it tries to install the newer one, it bombs. So I'm on I'm on the earlier train, the 222,000
There's an update,
train,
by the way.
so,
There's an update as of yesterday, so you might be able to jump on that one.
yeah. So let's see. Oh, hang on, we got a couple questions. A lot of people are in the UK, which is cool because I was in London, I guess, I don't know, 18 months ago, and I liked it a lot. I'd like to go back.
Well,
Paddington.
You say that now because you haven't lived in London.
Oh no,
You
I didn't want to
experienced
live
London
there.
like a tourist, which
Exactly.
is
I didn't want to live there, but I did like it. I did like visiting. But the USA trains are great, Sahil. I used to take one to go to see customers in Raleigh, which is about 3 hours from me, because I could sit and get Wi-Fi and eat food and do all the whatever, talk on meetings and do all that sort of stuff, and not have to drive, which was really nice. And then these headphones, they're okay. The Surface earbuds are okay. I don't want to say they're my favorite ones ever because they're not. They work okay.
And
They
that was
fall
for
out of my ears.
poke balls. Yeah, I see the question. So Bolt says there's more to London than Paddington Station, which is absolutely right.
I mean, I did go other places. Like I went over to Hyde Park and went to the gardens and but I didn't get too far because I was on foot the whole time. When I got to London, I had there's a guy from China, and he asked me for a cigarette, and I said, or he asked me for a lighter, and I said, sure, I got a lighter, And then I guess apparently a very high percentage of Chinese men smoke. It's like 90-some%. And yeah, all right, surly Dev, I get it. I didn't go very far, but I was on foot, so I was on my big plotty clodhopper feet. So anyway, he asked me for a light. I said, sure, I'll give you a light. So I gave him a light. And then he offered me a cigarette, to say thanks. Like, hey, here's a cigarette. And it was this beautiful gold leaf thing. I was like, am I supposed to smoke this? Or am I supposed to, frame it, Well, he was kind of looking at me expectantly like, yeah, you need to smoke this. And so I was like, okay, fine. And I don't know. I mean, I was tired. I didn't know what I was doing. So I smoked that thing. And I swear to God, it felt like somebody was kicking me in the chest. And I got to the hotel. And I fell down, laid down, and went to sleep. And I got up and felt like, oh my God. And I called my wife, like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. It's like, God only knows what I'd got from this thing. I just smoked some gold leaf. I don't know what I'm going to do. But, yeah.
Luckily, you haven't been poisoned, which is good.
I was in a hotel that was on top of the station, on top of the train station. So that's why I didn't go very far. Because, I did think about going down to the beach because there was a beach, but Braxton, something like that. I thought about taking the train down to the beach, but
Brighton,
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, very popular.
So Brixton. I was thinking of the Guns of Brixton from the Clash. So
yeah. So Trooper says people got dragged and spiked at a couple of events, so be careful. Yeah, please don't take things from strangers if you don't know. I need to educate now, JP. He's young. He doesn't know. Let's see. We have a few people on Microsoft Developer asking about Windows 11. We haven't experienced any issues. Everything is running extremely smoothly. In fact, it's an inline upgrade, so you don't have to, wipe out everything. It's great. Everything is working. Visual Studio Code works. Azure CLI works. Everything is awesome. I have a weird issue that if I resize one of my screens, then the taskbar on that resizing goes to the left or the right, so it doesn't center. But I don't know if that's fixed in subsequent builds. So we'll see. That's the only thing I figured out so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daxina says basically everything that runs Windows 10 runs on Windows 11. That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's been pretty low drama for me. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you dig in deep enough, it still says Windows 10 everywhere. I mean, obviously there's a new shell, and the shell's got a lot of improvements. And I think I was on some of the dev builds for a while, and those have a lot of new things in them, but clearly they're unstable. And when I was working on it, in fact, last week, when I was trying to figure out why mine kept crashing during upgrade, that was when I accidentally blew away the wrong disk and went Linux for about 4 or 5 days only. And then the way our conditional access and stuff is set up at work, I had to re-sign in every 12 hours, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way I can do this on a regular basis. So, but, whatever. Such is life. So
it is. All right. Should we do some work?
I guess we should do some work. Everybody's going to be like, what are these guys doing?
We're getting paid to do work, but we're here to have fun, right?
That's right.
Although we can have fun while we're working, which is also fun. Or weird.
That's true. We can at least attempt.
We can attempt, yeah. That's right.
So
we're excited. We are excited because today's topic has been something that a lot of people have been waiting for in the B2C space.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never easy to do.
That's right. So Bolt says the client requires authenticator every day. It's like that would be absolutely miserable. And every time I'd open Outlook, I couldn't open attachments in Outlook. I could only use OWA. I couldn't get to SharePoint. I couldn't use Office Online. Anything. It was awful. And so I was like, okay, fine. I'll go back to Windows. If you insist, I will go back to Windows. And I'll just use WSL. So, so anyway.
Says, nothing is more exciting and fun than claims-based authentication. That's what everyone says.
I mean, it's true. There really isn't anything. When I first figured it out 10 years ago, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I don't have to do any of this work. Other people can do it. Problem solved. Let's do more of that.
Yes. There's a library for this. All I had to do is just call it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, somebody else is going to deal with this drama? I'm down with this. I can totally get behind that.
It's not drama. It's a process.
Well,
somebody else has to do the process.
Maintaining a username and password database and building password reset screens and all of the just bleh. It's just so much goop. So Bolt says shout out to Ranveer on Discord, who apparently dropped this link, which is awesome.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to my Discord. I had it up, but now it's gone. But yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So we've had
right and center. Yeah.
So we've had API connectors for a while in B2C. Of course, B2C, if you're not familiar, is the sort of primary user database for if you're building apps for the internet, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily not for workplace stuff. Your workplace stuff goes through regular Azure AD, but if you're building stuff for the internet to use, generally B2C is the way to go. And we've got these API connectors, and the API connectors historically had there were a couple things you could do. You could do some validation, so it was only certain times in the pipeline you could do this validation. And you could kick the claims over before the user gets created, maybe add some extra attributes to them, and then get them written back. And then there was another one for validating claims from a REST API, but you couldn't do it. You couldn't really do claims enrichment very well.
Yes.
You could do if you had some data about a user and you wanted to stamp it on their user object, you could do that. So, right before the user gets created, we call this API, get some data, and then, stamp it on there. But if it's constantly updating or refreshing, it's just not that's just not going to work out very well.
Exactly.
So now we've got a new one.
New API connector.
There's a new connector. Let me find one of these things that I can use. So there's a new connector. What's cool about the new connector is that it lets us ping a database or an API when a user.
I how you have preview v2 legacy. So it's preview, but it's legacy at the same time.
I don't make the rules around here. I mean, this is
you're using a preview version of our legacy stuff. How's that even possible?
brought to you by the same company that has abused the word Surface for about 17 different products in the past 15 years.
True.
I went to a Microsoft office in Independence, Ohio, which is right outside of Cleveland, and they had a Surface table in the back, like the old.
They
like the
were
table.
amazing.
Yeah, and it was the saddest thing because it's this like in nondescript office park. It's snowy and the snow's all dirty and muddy because it's whatever. And you go upstairs and you get into this office and it's kind of dark, so it's so gross outside. And here's this Surface table, like the big table, in the corner. And it was all cracked and broken. It's just like, man, it's the saddest thing. And then you pull out your Surface laptop and you work on it and you connect to Visual Studio Online, which was actually TF Online. Oh, wait, no, that was Azure DevOps or whatever the name is. Oh, no, now it's Azure Repos. So it's like, the fact that there's something that's a preview V2 legacy is least not terribly surprising anymore.
It's a testament to our ability to name things.
It's a testament to our ability to name things. Naming things is hard. Anyway.
We have a naming council, in case you didn't know that.
We do. I did not know that. That's news.
There are people that are being paid to be part of the naming council.
Nice.
And when you want to name something new in marketing, you have to go through them. You cannot name things willy-nilly, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
Surfaces
tells
all
me
over the place.
I don't think we would have gotten away with the 425 show had we gone to that council. They would have said, no,
it
sorry.
would be the Surface show.
Microsoft Identity.
Remember back in the day when everything was a .NET? That everything had a .NET extension to it?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, those were the days. BizTalkServer.net. I'm like, what?
Yes.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Anyway.
SharePoint.net. Yeah.
Great, that's right, because we could go watch our stream on live.net. Okay. Anyway, so API connectors. We had these two for a while. These have been GA since like late June, late July.
Yes, they've been out for a year.
Where you could choose one of
we
these.
Did a show
choose one of these before creating the user and after, basically after they come in from their identity provider. But now I got this new one before including application claims in the token, which is a mouthful to say claims enrichment. So we're going to go get some claims from an API and we're going to stuff them into the token. Now, if you wanted to do this today, you had to go write a bunch of custom policy. And in fact, I have a custom policy that does exactly this. Let me go pull it up here. And we're going to get rid of it, which I'm actually super, super pumped about. So longtime watchers of the show will remember among the trail of half-completed projects that we have, that we've been doing something on getting app roles into B2C, right?
Yep.
And one of the things about that is we had to have a policy, like a set of B2C policies, custom policies, that would go and call our API to get the user's role data and stuff it into the token.
Yep.
So we ended up with a bunch of all of these different policies. I mean, it's kind of a mess, right?
It
so we
was.
got all these custom policies that do the auth Z stuff and go fetch it from the thing. You got to use what's called a REST API technical profile, and the thing about technical profiles and B2C custom policies in general is like once you get to the cliff, like you hopefully don't need them, but once you get to that cliff that you do need them, there's really no turning back. Like you have to re-implement a lot of stuff, which is a bummer because now you got to go redefine all of your claims providers, for example. Like if you're using GitHub and Azure AD and Facebook and Twitter for login, you got to go redefine all those in XML, and then you have to go through the hierarchy, and it can be a bit of a mess. If you've defined custom properties, you got to take all those custom attributes and make sure those are part of the policies, and it's just it's not a great experience, we'll say. So a lot of the focus has been on how do we push out the cliff, right? Like how do we get to the point where you don't need custom policies as early as you do today? And this is a step in that direction. It's like if we look at this one, if we look at this policy here, which I believe this is the one, you'll notice we use this RESTful provider to go get access tokens for Graph, and it goes and calls Graph and does a bunch of other stuff, right? And we have a bunch of them because we have to make multiple calls because we got to go stack a bunch of stuff together. And I just find that to be kind of lame. I don't want to have to do that, right?
Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to express business logic in XML. Unless
Don't they? Don't they?
Well, I guess it's better than anything else.
Business people like to do that. No, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that.
Well, anyway.
We should create our own language that translates into XML and uploads to B2C. We should write our own language on top of... Somebody was writing a programming language on top of Python. So Python was the compiler. It's like, no. Why would you want to do that?
What would we call the DSL for B2C?
I don't know.
Anyway, so my thought was, why don't we take the... So the fact that I have to have custom policy at all for any of our app dev stuff to work is lame. I don't want to have it, right?
No. Yep.
But I do want those extra claims to come in the token because then my app can say, oh, you're a member of Role ABC, or you're a member of this,
exactly.
You're a member of that. So I'm going to come in here and see if I can't find the URL because I know it's in here somewhere.
So in effect, we're taking, so that is your function, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is my function now. It's still pointing.
So you've already implemented
right
that.
now.
So technically, oh, nice. So it's just plugging it into the API. Nice.
I mean, that's the key. Like, it's possible, and my hope is that we can literally just take what it is, and the schemas should match and be, and it should be the same in and out. Now, where some of the question comes in is stuff like this. Like, these are parameterized with info that's available in the custom policy claim bag. So we're going to take a look over here and see how we can do those connectors. So I'm going to create a new sign-in flow because I use this one. I don't want to blow it up. So we'll create a new one. We'll call it recommended. We don't want to use the standard preview legacy v2. And we'll call this Suzy API enrichment.
Yes.
Oops. So Suzy, of course, being sign up and sign in. For local accounts, we'll do email and then social. Yeah, whatever. Choose your poison. I don't care.
Do you have enough providers there? I'm a little bit worried about you. Brutus ADFS?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brute.
Yeah.
Every time you sign in through Brutus, you get stabbed in the back. All right. So we don't need conditional access or MFA. We're not going to worry about that one. And then the claims that we're going to return, I don't know. We'll just return. You know what? Let's not return anything except for the basics because that way we can supplant all of it in the with our data.
Very nice. Yes.
So let's see here. I guess we'll return
email addresses, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do email address. At least then we can go look it up. So we'll return an email address and the user's object ID and identity provider in case they have one. So we'll return those. Cool. So now we've got a new user flow that we can use to sign in, right?
Oh, that's a good question from Bolt. Wouldn't you want to know what happens if you can override one of the claims that is usually returned from the sign-in?
This feels like a good thing for us to test.
Yes, let's start with the basics, and then we can do the further override.
And then we'll try to break. And then we'll try to break it.
We'll break it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so basically we have, just like everything else in B2C, you've got a collection of these API connectors, and then you'll assign them to various policies. You can use them multiple places.
Yep.
We don't have one of these yet. So let's see. What do we have? These are, okay. So we'll do a new API connector, and we'll call this enrichment API. And I guess we'll use ngrok again. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
ngrok, and then API, and then I don't remember what it was called. Oh, no, but it's only basic or certificate. Oh, no.
What? So you have to pass a username and a password. Can we do certificate? Oh, you need to deploy the certificate and install it on your machine and then have the function running under that?
I guess we'll do basic for now.
Yeah. Wow. Lame. Sorry, is the team listening?
Okay. So I don't know what this function is called, so we'll just give it a name now. We'll just call it enrichment API.
Yeah.
Or
And
we'll just
while
call
you're
it
doing this,
enrichment.
I just remember that I know I'm not proud about doing this, but if you ever want to do Blazor with SAML authentication, then I have a sample for you. Right. JP is speechless. Like, what the hell happened there? Somebody asked me on Twitter, I was like, can I actually do it? Like, will it be possible? So yes, I have a Blazor
That's cool.
server working with SAML.
That's cool. No, it's cool.
Please don't do it.
It reminds me of there's a video from some Good Morning show in the UK where there's an Italian guy cooking, and this lady says, you know, if you added some ham, this would be like a British carbonara. And he's like, and if my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. Like, absolutely hilarious.
Go
That's
out.
kind of what
Yeah.
I'm feeling like right now. Okay,
I'll grab my codes. It's fine. You can carry on yourself, right?
So we've got our enrichment. We've got our enrichment
Nice.
API. So I now, because I flattened my machine, I do need ngrok. I have to go download ngrok. So let me go do that.
What do Winget? Winget.
Oh, is it available on Winget yet?
Hell
Let me
yes.
zoom in some and we'll go look. Okay. Winget ngrok. Oh wait, Winget. Well, let's see if it's there. Ngrok. And
Of course it is.
Nero DVD player.
Did you?
Doesn't look
did
like
you
it's there. I don't see it there.
Oh, okay, maybe it's not. By the way, talking about Nero, did you ever connect the fact that Nero, you know, the Roman emperor, burned down
Yeah.
Rome, and that's why they use Nero for burning CDs?
I know.
Did you ever
It
make the
was even-
connection?
It was
I
no,
didn't.
I didn't until it was even in the picture of the installer. There was a picture of it,
I didn't even make the connection. It's just insane.
yeah. It was like a
What terminal
burning
is that?
Coliseum.
It's the Windows terminal.
Windows
Balls.
terminal.
Yeah.
Windows
The
terminal.
best terminal.
Yeah, PowerShell and I use PowerShell and WSL mostly. So yeah,
Seriously,
Nero.
Nero. Never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nero logo was a burning Coliseum because Nero was the guy who burned the place down.
Burned
I
down
guess.
Rome. Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I never connected it.
Yeah.
20 years
Okay.
later.
Oh, everybody's got my ngrok auth token now, so thanks for that. Thanks for letting me hide that. Really appreciate it.
It's too late.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I have it. I think I have it in an apps folder that I added to my bin or added to my my path.
Path. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's a zip file, right? It's not
It's
it's not installable.
Just an executable. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's already there. Whatever.
So you must expose yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'll just change it later if I can. Anyway.
Wait, you have a proper account, so you're not on the free stuff. I like it.
Well, I did it so I could have predictability in names because the names
Yes.
on the names were a real pain. I don't think it's in my path though, or so Nero. I don't think it's in my path. No, it's not.
Yeah, you need to add it. Where's the
Been a
folder?
while, as you can tell. It's let's see, where is my path? We'll add a new one here. I'll browse. It's in my OneDrive. Nothing like keeping executables in OneDrive. All right. Now I gotta restart my terminal, I guess. I did figure out how you could do. You could port in. You can take environment variables from Windows and take them into WSL, which is super cool, actually.
Nice.
So, I'll get my WSL up here, and you'll notice once it comes up, which I don't know what it's doing. My fans are spinning up, so now I'm worried. Uh-oh. An error occurred with one of your file systems. So if I do like an echo OneDrive consumer, there it is. And it's translated to the path in WSL that it should be.
It mounted properly. Nice.
Yeah, so even though the OneDrive consumer environment variable in Windows is like D local OneDrive or whatever, when you set it up this way, it translates it over, which is super cool.
That's
Anyway,
amazing.
okay, so ngrok should be here now, and it is. Good. Okay. So I need to put in my.
Well, we have a function, right?
Yeah, I got to configure my ngrok first. Okay.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Okay. So I've got a function. It's here in my. I see the folder that all of my stuff was in is what I accidentally deleted. So let's see. So we get to our app roles folder, and then we've got our B2C authz runtime func host. This is the one that we're using today. Yeah, Windows Terminal is super sweet. I'm a big fan of it. I like it a whole lot. And
I wish we could get it
customizable
on Mac OS and Linux.
Okay. So, this is a simple function. It doesn't do a whole lot. So we've got
this will need to be updated quite a bit, right?
I don't know. Because the thing is, B2C is calling this today, right?
Yes.
So it's not like it is what's the word I'm
But
thinking?
is it passing the same payload? That's the question. Is it passing the exact same payload as in the documentation?
Probably not, because most of the stuff is actually in the URL.
Yeah, which is not. I think this one is sending a post with a payload. If you go to documentation, you'll see that it has a sent and an expected output, I think, for your API.
Yeah, so let's go look at the doc for this, and we've got a link. I've got a link for this. It says
example request on the right-hand side. Example request sent to the API, and then the expected response types. So
it's only going to do a post, which is kind of lame. So an API connector materializes as an HTTP post request. So it's going to post, sending user attributes as key value pairs in a JSON body. Okay,
so not even a proper JWT, which is weird, right? It just sends JSON.
Okay.
So you can use JWT library.
So it's going to post some amount of information to us, which we're not entirely sure of. It looks like we're going to get a notice in here that this is pre-token issuance, so that'll be cool. I wonder how it decides. Are these just the ones that are in the claim bag right now? I don't know. But the two things we need, the user's object ID and the client ID, these two are the things we actually need for what we're doing. So that's perfect.
So wait,
that works
the object ID, I know. It's the user ID. What is the client ID?
That is the app that... Presumably, that's the app that is being that the user is trying to sign into.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is what we need to know for our app roles stuff, because we need to know what app are you signing into so we can go get the correct app roles, right?
Yes.
So I'm actually pleasantly surprised that these two are here. It says only user properties and custom attributes listed in the Azure B2C user attributes experience. I don't know what that means, but are available to be sent in the request. So that should mean any custom attributes that we've defined should also be able to come along with us, which is super cool. And then it'll send client ID, which is the app ID of the application that an end user is authenticating to in a user flow, which is perfect. That's exactly what we need.
Yep.
This is not the resource application's app ID and access tokens. Sure, kind of makes sense. So we've got the client ID, which is great. We've got the object ID, which is the user's object, which is perfect. So we need that. If it doesn't have a value at the time, the claim will not be sent. So I'm actually really curious now to see what are we actually going to get. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, so then we have, so we're going to have to blow up our thing here because we are going to be getting some different data.
So we maybe write a different function so you don't have to break the existing functionality, and then because there's a lot of things in here that you probably don't want to break.
So what do we call this? Enrichment?
Enrichment.
Okay.
And it needs to be a post, although you can do both get and post, which is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. So we'll do a new function called, I think I just called it enrichment in there, right?
I think. Can't remember. We might have to check it.
Okay, so we need an HTTP trigger. And I don't know how we're going to do basic authentication in here. I'm sure you can. I just don't know how to do it.
Wow.
And then our root.
Yeah, let me look at that. See if I can find it.
I know we can do. I know doing certs when it's in Azure Functions is a lot easier. It's pretty easy to configure, but I don't know. I actually don't know how to do it locally, and I don't know how to set up basic auth locally either. Okay, so our root in this case is just going to be enrichment, okay? And then the data that we're going to get in, I mean, I guess, let's just get the, what is it, HTTP request? Yeah, we'll just do that.
Quick question. Before we write any more code, can we take a quick break? It's 9 o'clock almost.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Top of the hour,
right.
Top of the hour break. All right, we'll be back in 2
minutes.
Hopefully before the music's over.
Right, catch you
See you
all
in a minute.
soon.
Okay, we're back.
We are
Everybody
back.
is
Deep breath.
properly handled.
I am looking at basic authentication with other functions, and I don't think that this is an option, actually.
So we'll have to do, I guess we can do anonymous, and we can just toss out the header.
It looks like it, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of silly.
Or we write custom
Or we can
code
check
to check the credentials in there.
I guess we can always check the headers.
Yeah.
And look at old what's it called? GitHub Copilot writing that out for us. Basic auth token. Okay. So anyway, we're going to get a JSON payload, but we're not going to know what's in there.
Yes.
Well, we'll know some of what's in there, but we're not always going to know what's in there.
We know it's an app ID, so we have a client ID and the object ID for sure. We don't know what anything else. And we don't need anything else, do we? I mean, from a lookup perspective, this is all we need. And then
yeah, you're right.
The rest of the stuff that we can check out.
I think we do have one extra one that we'll need, which is organization ID, but we can come back around to that one. So whatever.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so how do we get to the, what is it? God, I feel like I haven't done this in ages. What is it? Content?
No, body. I think it's request a body.
Is it body?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I see anything on? I can't get anything on this thing. I don't even know what .NET version I'm in right now. This is 3.1.
Oh my God, that's like so 2019.
Well, I know, but we can't do 5 without.
No, I'm just kidding.
Can't do 5 without switching to an isolated function.
Yes, for now.
So, okay, so in our HTTP request, all the samples already have this in here. I'm just gonna see functions. I'm going to just have this thing create a function. HTTP trigger. I don't care what it's called. I don't care what it's called. It's anonymous. We'll just let this thing create one for us, and then we can go see what sort of madness we have to do.
There you go. Request.body, but you need to use a stream reader.
Yeah, it is rec body. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. But it wasn't showing up. It was kind of weird. Okay. So, look at this. var. String. Come on now.
Dynamic. I'm always feel itchy. I always feel itchy about that.
But
it's fine for now.
It's JSON.NET too. Not that there's anything wrong with JSON.NET, but it feels like it's been a while since I last used it. Okay, so in our body, so I'm going to do this really cheap for a moment. So we'll have...
Look at that, Copilot. Go on.
Yeah, I guess we'll pretty much have that. And then we'll have a client ID, and then we'll also have the user object ID, which is going to be the same, and it'll be, what was it? It was just object.
ID.
Was it object underscore ID?
Go back to docs, can I remember? Well, I can actually look up the docs.
Oh, I love this consistency. Object ID and then client underscore ID. Okay.
Hey, at least we use consistent naming. Could be worse.
Well, good. This could also be the app ID, right?
The app ID, exactly.
Okay, so we need object ID, but client underscore ID. So object ID, and then now at the same time, I don't know if the deserializer is going to try to swap any of that stuff out, but hopefully it won't. So we have these two, and then once we have those two, all we really need to do is what this thing is doing, which is to go and make a call out to Graph to try to search for that app. We try to find the app, and then we try to find the app roles for that app. We go and look for the user ID and the memberships. And if the user ID has any memberships, then we send those back in the token. So most of this... Most of this is the work that we need to do, which is great.
Yep. Maybe you need to put it into a function so we can actually reuse it.
Yeah, we're going to have to change we'll probably have to change our return value a little bit.
Yes.
But I'm just going to grab this for the moment. Like you always say, we'll make it work and then we'll refactor later.
Yeah, we'll make it nice later. There you go.
Yeah, okay. Which, of course, we never end up doing. But that's a different story. That's a personal problem. Okay.
Given enough time and money, we could do all of these things, but unfortunately...
That's right. Okay. So I'm going to close this one up. So what do we need to return from this?
We need to return a very expected response, which should be a JSON response.
So we're going to return a continuation response that can return additional claims. A claim returned by the API that you wish to return in the token must be a built-in claim or a defined custom attribute. So we'll have to go check that. And it must be selected in the app claims config of the user flow. Makes sense, okay? The claim value in the token that will be returned by the API, not the value in the directory. So you can overwrite, but you can't overwrite everything. Oh, no, this is interesting too. Only invoked during the initial authentication. When refresh tokens get called, that does not check. So this is only going to get called on sign in.
Yep.
It's not going to be called on. It's only going to be called on an interactive sign in.
Yeah.
Not on anything else.
Yes.
Okay. So pretty simple. So we're going to send back. It looks like we need to send back a version and an action. So we need to make sure that gets back. And then we're going to send back any pieces of data that we think that we need, or any of the claims that we want to override. So that should be easy enough. So we've got our role data. So we'll see. We're going to return a new OK object result, and we'll just do an anonymous type for the moment. And we're going to need these two. So we'll have version, and that's 1.0.0. And we're going to have action, which is continue. And then let me go see. I don't actually know what claim. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. Oh, I bet. Oh. So I'm returning it in the policy. I'm returning it with a name of roles. That's the claim.
Oh.
But this is only going to let us override existing ones.
Yes. Or custom ones.
Or extension attributes. Which means it would have to be something like extension underscore app ID roles. Oh, that's lame. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll see how we can work around it for the moment.
Well, you'll just need to do the claims binding override in your configuration, right? To say the roles will be in this format.
Yeah.
In the code.
Correct,
sorry, for people that are not.
Yeah, you're correct, but that's kind of lame. I'm going to try to send it in, and we'll see what we get. But okay.
So the problem is that we can't debug B2C, right? So it will be a little bit weird. But try it and see what happens.
Well, presumably it would blow up. That's my. Well, we're going to see the claims, so we'll see if the claims are there. Hey, Fuel Snapple, good day to you too.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. It's fun. You might get a wait without having the extension app ID in there. Some let you, some don't.
Yeah, so this one's saying that it does need the extensions app ID.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have the extensions app ID, but that's okay. Yeah. So let's go, before we do this, let's go back to our, let's go back
B2C.
to B2C. Okay, so that name's all that name is correct. Cool. Let's go to our user attributes. And do we have one in here for roles? And if we're going to have to create we do have one called user roles.
Ooh.
Which I guess we could use that one.
Yes. If you click on that, does it open and say extension underscore blah blah? No, it doesn't.
No, that would make too much sense. So instead, we have to go and manipulate the.
Yeah.
Instead, we have to go and build it ourselves. We can also go to Graph and get it. So the format is extension underscore B2C extensions app ID, and then this one's called user roles. So we need to go get that ID.
Yeah.
Now the ID, if you need it, in your app registrations, you'll find one that is already there that you did not create, and it's going to be called.
Oh,
B2C,
it's the secret one that you should not mess with.
The do not modify one. Yep.
Yeah.
No, my custom attribute. So Bolt's asking if the custom attribute we have is Bolt's asking if the custom. Yeah, because we want to return an array, and we can return an array in We can return an array in custom policy. I don't know. Well, it's called a string collection in B2C custom policy, because why name something what it is when you could make up a new name? I get the feeling, because we can't create a string collection one here, I kind of get a feeling that it's not going to work. Like that we're going to have to comma separate them or semicolon delimit them or something. So I'm not incredibly, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not super confident, I guess, that that's going to work. But we'll see. It's possible. We're going to try both of them and see. Now, we need the extension app ID, not the object ID. The claim does not need to contain extensions app ID. It is optional. Oh, interesting. So it doesn't actually have to have it. So Bolt was correct.
That's nice.
So we don't have to worry about that extensions app ID. If you needed to know it, it's you take the GUID of the app ID and you just remove the dashes. That's it. It's the same thing otherwise. They can be returned in the token if selected as an app claim. So I guess we'll use user roles. So we're going to do extension.
And that's selected in the application.
It is.
Okay.
So we'll call this list of app. Now, this is an enumerable that comes out of our where, and then our select.
List or string concat.
Is it not gonna do? Yeah. So let's do user roles. Since we know user roles is a string, we'll do.
You can do to array, to string array, or you can do to string to join. Yeah, commas. I like that. Yes.
Do a string join on this one. This one, I'm going to try to push this in as an array. I don't think it's going to work, and it might blow up and even reject it, but it's at least worth a shot, right?
Yes.
So version 1, this is from the docs, as is the action, because you have some other actions you can do in here. Now, there was one other property that it said we were guaranteed going to get, which is called the step. So I'm going to get that just so that we can log it.
Yep.
So let's see. Received request, app, user, step. Okay. And then these need to change because these are no longer correct. So this will be client ID. And then we'll have
user object ID.
User object ID. Yep. And then this will have to change to client ID. I should probably do a find and replace, but whatever. All this looks okay. Here's our filter. This is going to have to be on client ID as well. Let me put a line break in here so we can see that together. All right. And then we'll have a conflict. So that's one thing about B2C is when you're returning something that is an error, you send it back as a conflict. And that by sending it back as a conflict, it can actually show an error message to the user.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Pokeballs. I don't have Visual Studio on here anymore. Like
I had to install Visual Studio for Xamarin.
Yep. See, I don't use it anymore. But I mean, it's fine. It works. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's just so slow. I think it's faster now, though. But
22 is much faster, much lighter, and it's optimized. But at the same time, VS Code is so much more versatile. It can do Python, Node, .NET, JavaScript stuff in the same ID without having to worry about installing workloads or, plus Copilot, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Wow. What?
I did use it. Visual Studio for the Windows API stuff we did for the calendar a few weeks ago. But that was before I blew up my machine. So OmniSharp is annoying. In fact, I need to restart OmniSharp because I think OmniSharp is like not quite sure what to do here.
Yep.
And so it's like .NET 6, but this is a .NET 3.1 app. And so I've seen this with the .NET 6 previews is if .NET 6 is on the box, OmniSharp tries to use that, and then it just bombs all the time, which is kind of lame. Okay.
Also, wait until we start using like minimal APIs with like top-level declarations and missing namespaces, OmniSharp just bars out. It's like, I don't know what you're doing here. I am going to
What?
quit.
Who
Yeah.
owns OmniSharp? Like, where did that even come from?
It's an open source project that was built to work independently of VS Code. And it's still an open source project, but Microsoft has contributed quite a bit into OmniSharp. And I think OmniSharp was the idea that it could work in Sublime, it would work in Notepad++, it would work in VS Code, but now it has become a de facto. But I don't think it's getting enough love there.
So OmniSharp is blowing up, getting upset. So we need a return path, sure. So this is, I guess I could do a system.io, and then this is, I guess I'll just do some usings up here, I guess. Newtonsoft.json, all right. So we're not returning anything.
Cuts, and then you don't have you need to do a return on the cuts, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to return I'll just return our same conflict result here. Yep. Since B2C is going to be expecting a 409 if something doesn't work out. So I'll just put the error message in here for now.
Namespace HTTP request could not be found. Yeah, thing.
Oh, I guess. Is it HTTP request or is it something different? We got this other one over here. Oh, yeah, it is HTTP request. Okay. So what is that? Using system.net.
Why is it working on one and doesn't work on the other? That's weird.
Well, this is a different namespace, so it's probably completely blown up now.
Oh, I see.
Oh, these are the two that it needs. Excuse me. Azure Web Jobs Extensions HTTP and ASP.NET Core HTTP. I swear it's different every time. Okay. Oh no, I've already got this one, but I don't have ASP.NET Core HTTP.
Yeah.
I don't like my usings being all messed up either. It's really gonna bug me, but
are you gonna order them?
We can come back to it later.
You know you can automatically do that, right?
Well, you say that, but yet organize usings. I don't know how. Doesn't matter. Whatever. I just scroll away from it so I don't see it anymore. Okay. So here's our enriched claims. Oh, I've still got some other ones down here that we need to fix. This is user object ID. Okay, that all looks good. And then
what is that? Line
cannot use a lambda expression as an argument to a dynamically dispatched operation without first casting it to a delegate or an expression tree type. What? Okay. So this is the graph client.
In newer C# you can, but not in 3.1. That could be the reason why. But no, wait, you got the other function right down below that does exactly the same thing, right?
Well, no. Oh, wait a minute. What? Okay, so, well, for starters, I don't know why this select is like this. Because the select...
It says it's a dynamic object?
It's not a dynamic object. It's the object that's the request object that comes out of... I wonder if this is yet again the thing. Let me all right, I'm going to delete HTTP trigger 1 so that it stops causing issues. We're going to delete that.
Yes.
So we don't need that anymore. And then I'm just going to try to .NET build this, at least see if it builds. I think it might just be OmniSharp having one.
No, you got error messages.
It's not. So now, but the thing is, though, thinking about the graph, this is a graph operation, a filter and a select. I don't know why this would have been like this in the first.
Do you get a type on Y, says Tyndall? I think if you hover over it, it won't tell you what it is, right?
No, I don't get one, but the select that hangs off of a graph object is just a string. It's basically the same thing you're going to put in the select. Right?
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you can do a lambda. Do you just need to pass the property names that you need to select from there?
Right. Correct. That's the thing. We only need, well, but it's not, wait a minute.
Because I think you're using a lambda select for, yeah, you need to pass the strings and say, I want these specific properties from, I guess that the select does not know what type the input to the lambda is. So it doesn't know what Y is. That's it.
I think the thing is,
Thanks,
this
Tyndall.
needs to happen, but it doesn't need to happen here. So it actually happens here. Because I'm going to get this list, and then I want to do a projection on that list. But this is a graph. This is a graph operation. The get async and all of this whole block from 68 to 71.
It is.
This is the graph client. So we're doing
But
an app role assignment.
If you were to run
request.
this in Graph Explorer, right, and you did a select, what would be the output in the C# tab? I think for your select, you need to have a non-dynamic object. You need to know beforehand what it is.
But why is it? But I was 99% certain graph did not deal in dynamic objects. That's how I was
doesn't.
able to do. So why then? So graph client users app role assignments. Why does it keep
Yes.
saying this is dynamic? That's not dynamic at all. That is 100% not a dynamic. Like, why does it say my local variable is dynamic? It's not dynamic.
Yeah, so var user roles. Well, if you remove the, so scroll up a little bit.
I wonder. Oh, you know what it is?
What?
I think it's because I'm using dynamic properties in
Yes.
here.
Yes.
That's what, because it's like super leaky like that.
Yes.
So I
you need to
guess
say,
what it
well,
really.
no. So var client ID is dynamic rather than a string. You just need to change it to a string.
Yeah. There we go. I'll just use a generic error message for the moment. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I've had that happen before, and I guess it's because
That's annoying.
it's because dynamic, I guess, is quite sort of, because it's all happening later. It's quite leaky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So then,
Yeah, I don't think you had
fact,
to do it to string. You could actually change that to be explicit string.
yeah.
Thanks, Tindo.
Do I?
Fuel
I
Snabble
don't-
dynamic
I don't-
was added a few years ago and then kind of forgotten, which I like it. You know, expando objects and dynamic.
I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. I hate dynamic. I never like using it. I was like, oh, I'll just shortcut it and do it and use it right now so that we don't take forever having to go build a bunch of static types. And this is, see?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, fixed, done. I mean, it's the same as
Lame.
using any in TypeScript. You have no idea what the object will be, and you just dump a dynamic similarly in .NET, and then there you go. I
what's
used it
interesting-
once. It will crack.
What I'm curious about is, it's almost as if this thing's going to let me do a projection in here. That's what I'm not entirely certain about.
Oh, that should work.
It's almost like doing a select on the request, but it's like it's using a link expression on the select, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. That's the way
You've
it was
tested this before, right? You've tested
Yeah,
this
I've used
before
it.
and it was working.
I've been using it. So well, let's just leave it alone. Okay. So what are the problems now? Member name can be simplified. Okay. Thank you.
No
OmniShark.
allocations.
Okay.
No
So now
allocations.
.NET build, we should be good. Okay, cool.
Oh my God, we're good to run
Now
it.
we're going to run it. So let's, did I name it correctly? It's named enrichment. Is that what we named it in B2C?
I think it
Bueller,
was
Bueller.
enrichment. Yes.
Okay. API connectors, we named it
Enrichment.
API whack enrichment. Cool.
Yeah, we're good.
And then in our user flow, I don't know how to
Yeah,
respond to that.
you can trigger JP with both Kubernetes and dynamic. Just,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
containers are the future of software packaging. Running your own container orchestrator is not. Okay. Before including application claims in the token, we want to call our enrichment API. Let's save this. And now we got to get ngrok up and running, and we got to get our function up and running. I wonder, let's just F5 this thing, and then I'll go set up my ngrok. Oh, I forgot. How do you debug a function?
.NET Core.
You gotta add a thing to the config. I don't remember what it was.
Let me find one for you. I've done it a few times.
It's like, I think instead of it being, there's somewhere you have to add a special, it's like function host dot find process, something like that. So, okay. And then I need to start ngrok. So I'll do that over here in another window. So let's ngrok, and then it's, I forgot how to do this too. This is not encouraging.
All right, what happens?
I typed in ngrok help, and it's just sitting here.
Oh.
I feel like my machine's about to blue screen or something. Okay. So we want to do ngrok, HTTP, and then subdomain. Ngrok, HTTP, let's see, subdomain is JPDA, and then the port is 7071, right? That's the functions port, so we should be good there.
Yes.
Okay, so that's up and running, cool. And then we'll open up our web interface so we can see that request come in, hopefully anyway. This is localhost 4040, cool. So nothing's made a request yet, but we're about to change that. My function's also not up and running. How do you enable what in Windows Terminal? Suggest the commands. That is PowerShell. That is I don't remember now. Hang on, I'll tell you. Pokeballs. It is az.tools.predictor combined with PS readline. You add the prediction source to be history and plugin, and you add the plugin of AZ Tools Predictor. So you need PS readline. This is PowerShell Core, by the way. This is PS readline combined with AZ Tools Predictor. So you get history and you get Azure commands you're trying to make. So I'll put this in the, I read a Thomas Maurer blog post about this. Because he had it, and I was like, oh, it looks really cool. So, okay. So, did you find any chance you found that function VS Code?
Looking at it right now. Did you know there's a function runtime 4.0 and it supports .NET 6?
I did not know that. That's cool.
No, and that's out of process, by the way. So it doesn't have to be in process.
Nice.
Yeah. Still looking at it. No. Runtime single attribute.
Let me just go to GitHub and search. I feel I have to search for this over and over and over again. I feel like I never.
Maybe writing a blog post would be handy.
Probably a good idea. So it's in the VS Code folder. It's in launch.json.
Yeah.
Let me search. Okay, user launch.json. Let me just find one. I know I got one somewhere in here. Code. Let me search for like function, maybe. Find it a little faster. Nope, couldn't find anything. Maybe it's not launch.json. Maybe it's tasks.json.
Could be. You know what? Let me spin up one on my end over here. I think if you have do you have the Azure Functions extension?
Yeah.
I think that helps.
JSON. Yeah, it does, but it's kind of like, why can't we just document this somewhere? Like, just, you got this magic string that I need for the debugger to know that I'm doing functions and to go attach to functions. Just put it in there. Put it in a doc somewhere. It's like function. It's like pick process, I think. Pick process. That's one of the key words I always remember. There it is. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
.NET
It's in the
Core
launch
attach.
afterwards.
Core CLR, attach, command Azure Functions pick process. That's the one I was looking for. Okay. Let me get rid of all this. Get rid of this whole thing. Get rid of, in fact, I guess we can get rid of all this stuff here. There we go. Okay. Now I should be able to F5 this thing, get debugged. There we go. Good. Okay. So this is up. Or it will be here in a moment, hopefully, if we didn't break anything. Cool. Up. Cool. We're up. We're running. All the Windows firewall prompts. Cool. Cool. There's our enrichment API. It's expecting a post. Okay. That's good. So get back in here. And now I guess we'll just do it live, right? Like we'll just go.
Yes.
We'll just go try to sign in and see if it works.
Make it happen.
I have so little confidence in this right now, but that's okay. We're going to try it. I guess I'll just use test app 1. We'll go to jwt.ms. What on earth is this one? The Barnes & Noble e-reader. Why is that even in there? I have no idea.
Wow.
Don't need access tokens. Let's run it. All right, there's our sign in. There's a problem processing your request. Okay, imagine that. Okay, so did we get a call to our API? I guess is question number 1.
No, I don't see anything in the logs.
Oh,
You're going to see what?
There's our. Oh, there it is. No, we got something. So we did get something. We're not equipped to handle it, which is okay.
Okay, nice.
So this is what we got.
ngrok gives you what?
Yep.
That's nice. Learned something new today.
What is your best C# extension for VS Code ID, Akira?
Yeah, tell us.
Okay. Yeah, I don't keep any secrets in my PS profile. Fuel, you kidding me? What do you think I am? Some kind of barbarian? So we got the call, but for whatever reason, API whack enrichment isn't one that's there. So what did we have show up in here? Oh, V.1. V1.0. That's why. We just had the wrong. We just had the wrong URL. That's okay. Easy enough to fix.
You need to take away the API.
Yeah.
From there.
Okay.
Interesting. V.1.0.
You know why? It's because I was trying to mimic Graph so that I could port this to Graph if Graph ever supported what I wanted it to support.
All the funkiness.
Okay, so that's there now. So now we should be able to go back. Let's go back. We're going to sign in again. Still doesn't like it. Oh, now we got a 500, which is good.
We should be, so 500 error from, so something is not being properly.
I'm wondering, is this actually making it to the function? It is making it to Kestrel. I wonder if that basic auth header is causing it to blow up.
You think so? Because I don't see anything in the logs in your Azure function as you debug. There should be something hitting there if it's showing. There you go.
There it is.
Oh, okay, you're talking connections to the graph.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay.
Nice. I mean, we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, I'm missing secrets. Okay, so B2C's calling us, which is great. So now I just, so now my credentials are bad. Probably because this machine doesn't have any of the settings that I need because I didn't put those secrets into storage or into get, and so I just cloned it and we're done. So that's cool. So let's look at our startup and we'll figure out what we're doing here. So we got our MSAL token provider. Our MSAL token provider needs these 5 things.
Right.
Easy enough.
Secrets?
So we'll just, so we got to go. I got to go grab these, and then I think we'll be okay. Let me see. I guess I don't need to be debugging this at the moment since we're going to have to restart anyway. Mm-hmm. So let's put this over to the right. And let's get our local settings up here. And we're going to need, what section are we looking? What's our config section name? It is Azure AD. So now this is what we need. Somebody want to go build one of these, like build a quick and dirty.
Do you want to build this now, man?
Somebody can take, like, let me copy my config class and then give me a, copy my config class and then paste as, paste as whatever. I'm just going to call it, since we're going to put this in secrets, we'll go ahead and call that. Oh, good. I already did that one. Although I'm not using tenant ID, I'm using tenant name. And then tenant ID and then scopes. Okay. I think the authority, I thought the authority we were building. So we're doing config authority. Oh, we're either giving it one or we are creating one for it.
Okay.
Now, that's a good point. It's something we got to call out here. Because this is client creds, because this is not a user sign-in.
Yep.
We're not connecting through B2C. We're connecting through the normal Azure AD endpoint.
Which is behind B2C, right? The Azure AD that underpins the B2C database. So it's the direct object store for all your B2C stuff, which you don't really usually mess with most of the time. Okay.
So because this is client creds, we also know our scope, which is graph.microsoft.com.default. Our tenant name is b2c.onmicrosoft.com. And now I need to go get our client ID and our secret for this. So let's go get that out of B2C. Be so nice if I had a CLI for B2C. Or for Azure AD in general.
We should build one. No.
Yeah, good Lord.
Resist. Squirrels.
That's opening up the door to... Okay.
So much impunity in our team.
I think I called it Auth-Z. Was it this one? TFP graph? I think this was it. And let's look at the permissions. Yeah, this is the one. Okay.
Oh, you already have that one. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's already there. Because this machine, I lost all my user secrets,
Yes.
Okay, so here's our client ID, and now I'm going to go hide my screen for a minute so I can generate a secret and stuff it in user secrets, which I inevitably...
you could use Key Vault to pull that out.
I don't have time for all that silliness today. So I'm going to create a new secret. I'm going to create a new secret over here, and then inevitably...
You're still showing your screen, by the way, right? You're still showing your screen.
I know.
Then you know.
Invariably, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put it in the user secrets, and then I'm going to be like, oh, okay, and then I'm going to accidentally hit
Paste
up, and it's going to be in there. So, and everybody's going to see the command I use because it's going to be in history. But whatever.
History. Yep.
Okay.
You can roll your secrets, so it's fine. Even if you get doxed like that, you can always roll your secrets.
Okay, it's B2C app roles. Let's get to our runtime function. .NET user, or let's see, .NET user secrets set Azure AD client secret. And I'll move this over for a sec.
Oh,
that.
You remember.
I don't have user secrets. Okay, whatever.
Oh, you need, right?
Well, remember we had a big discussion around whether or not these would actually work. But we'll try.
So you might as well just put in there for now and then take it later?
Yeah.
Well,
if it doesn't work, I will put it in here. I'll say that much. How about that?
Okay. Yes, that works for me.
I'll just open it in Notepad and put it over here so that if for whatever reason it doesn't work, I can have it here and nobody will see it. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this and see what's going on because I'm actually cautiously optimistic that we're going to get somewhere today. So
let's run this bad boy. Do you need to refresh ngrok, or ngrok will be happy to do that.
Should be fine. Shouldn't have to do anything.
Did say something about user secrets over there. I liked it. Okie dokie.
We've loaded user secrets with value. You're like, no, don't do that. Okay.
And we loaded for you, for everyone to see.
Okay, let me get back to... Yep, I got to get my secret off the screen over here so we can go run our user flow again. Okay. I like the no title bar look of Edge, like when you have the vertical tabs, but it makes it very difficult to click. Okay.
Especially now that most of our staff are also with the Windows logo, so it's very hard to distinguish between docs and other things. Sign in.
Okay.
Oh,
so something broke. That's okay. So we had a problem trying to activate the. Couldn't start the graph service client type. Okay, so that's good.
So
why? I don't know. There's something wrong here. I don't know what. So we got our Azure AD options. That all looks good. I have to inject this string because it's really silly because the graph service client constructor is literally a string. We've got our token providers. That's good. All that looks okay. I wonder if it is the secret not getting in there. I'm just going to put this secret in here and we'll skip user secrets for the moment at least and just see if that's what it is because I don't feel like waiting on. I'm telling you, modern software development is 99% environment configuration. We write code for like 3 minutes and then we spend 2 days configuring an environment to make the code run. Christos? Where did he go? Did he just leave? Is he okay? I hope so. He just left. Okay. Right. I guess I could probably postman this one too, I guess he's just so disgusted with what we were doing that he was like, I'm out of here. I can't take this anymore. I can't believe this guy. So, well, hopefully whatever it is not bad. So, had something to do with QR codes. That's right. For a long time, we had his name only as a QR code, which was kind of fun, to be quite honest.
Did you fix it yet?
No, it's still blowing up. So now it's saying we can't activate our graph service client. Unable to resolve service. Unable to resolve service for, just pretty. So let's see. We're doing our config gets. This is simple, pretty simple startup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Why is this app settings.json instead of local.settings.json? I wonder if my settings are missing.
No, you have on line 23, this app settings.contextenvironment.json, isn't it?
Yeah, but look, I'm using local.settings.json, which is what comes out of...
Oh, there you go. What the...
But doesn't it do local settings by default?
Yes.
Those should already be there, right?
Well, you can probably debug your MSOL stuff and put a breakpoint there. See if you get your values out.
What I was saying, I don't know, because I didn't realize you had left. What I was saying was, you write code for 3 minutes, and then you spend like 2 days configuring your environment to run that code.
Or debugging it.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Shows how useless we are. At least I am. I spend a lot of time debugging. Also, I can't believe that people write code without debugging. Like, oh yeah, I just write unit tests. Really?
What's also curious here is none of these breakpoints are getting hit in my startup. Now, maybe it's because nothing's been activated yet, but...
Let's see what happens.
I don't buy it. Okay, all right, we'll see what happens. Granted, I guess I don't have one in configure, but I do have one in configure app configuration. I wonder if this has changed. Because, of course, this changes all the time, too. I wonder if it's changed. God help you if you need to run software for longer than 6 months. All right.
Ryan, deploy, done.
Yeah, I still can't activate that type. Why can't it activate that type? Especially since it was activating it just a little bit ago. That's the weird part. I mean, I should have to add my JSON.
Could be your secrets.
What do you mean could be my secrets? But I just put it in there straight up.
Oh, you put it?
I just put it in there. I mean, we got to. It says it's loading it from user secrets. I guess I'll just take. Let me just take the user secrets ID out. We'll just say just completely skip the secrets. But I mean, it's an activation problem though. Like that's what's weird. It's not even getting to the point where like it's like it can't find it in the DI container. That's what's so weird about it. That's what I don't understand. I should probably have a better way to test it. Maybe we should. Oh, I was going to ask you because I've got an opportunity now. What HTTP client like Postman do all of you use? Because I like Postman fine, but I'm kind of curious if there's something else out there that is better, faster.
I've shown you how to use Thunder Client, right?
No, yeah.
It's a VS Code extension, which is awesome because it comes with you everywhere you go, so you don't have to install Postman all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. So by taking user secrets out, now it's blowing up saying the token credential is null. So that token credential, what is this? Oh, I'm using the Graph Preview, no wonder. And Graph Preview expects a token credential, as we learned a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes. Yes, check out the REST client is great, but REST client, you have to write everything by hand, which is not fun. Whereas Scott says, REST client, I like Thunder client because it's a GUI and it's pretty sweet.
I have done, I have tried the HTTP, like, or the REST client or whatever. I have tried that one. It's not too bad. But you're right. You have to write all of it, right?
Yes. Which is great for automation, I guess, because you can call it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's not great for quickly testing stuff and not having to switch between Postman or whatever. I really, really like Thunder Client, to be honest.
And it's built into VS Code, huh?
It's, yeah.
All right. Well, like, let me go to the... Let me get back to... I don't even know why I've got Identity Web in here. I'm not using any of this. Why is this even here?
Yeah, why is it even there? Oh, is it part of the .NET New Funk? Or Funk?
I don't think so, no. I mean, this is an older function, too. This function's been around for a while. So I don't know why those are even in there.
You were testing something there, and then...
It must have been. Okay, let's see if we get activation this time.
Well, I know why you had it, because you were using the Graph client that is through, like, the extension to Microsoft.web.
Oh, maybe maybe that's how I ended up with 4. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, and that does use token credential instead of using what we're using.
Yes.
So that would make sense as to why it was saying, well, there's no token credential in the thing, so what do you expect me to do, you big dope? And it's like, well, I guess we figured that part out. Okay.
Nice.
Anyway, okay.
Oh,
there we are.
There you go.
Oh, good. My secret's there. Now it's up on the screen. So way to go. I'm glad I did jumped through all those hoops to make sure. So
just roll the secret in the end, man. That's what I do.
All right. So I don't know.
There you go.
Why. Do we really need to step through it? I mean, we got our client ID, we got our user object ID, we got our step. All that looks good. Let's not step through it. Let's just run it.
Because we're that confident. As soon as quick clip it. Yeah. Insufficient privileges. Do you not do
that's okay.
Do you not do consent? Admin consent on that?
Let me know. Let's go look. I thought we did, and again, I've been using this for a while, so I was under the assumption that I had the right permission, but apparently not. Or I'm using, my assumption is I'm probably using the wrong one. I'm probably using the wrong client ID, but whatever. Are these consented? Yeah, these are all consented. So we got app role assign. I wonder which one it needs. So we've got app role assignments read write, group read all, user read all, app role assignments. I wonder if it's let's see, what permission are we missing? Insufficient privileges to complete.
It would be nice to tell us which. Although would that be exposing a security?
No. I mean, I guess maybe. So we're doing a service principal search, which should be fine. We're pulling the app roles. I wonder if that's what we're missing. I wonder if we need application read. We probably need application read write, would be my guess.
Yep. And that'll be all because it's an app permission, right?
Yeah, so we'll need app read all. And then I believe we'll probably need service principals, although those should be included in the app.
In apps. Yeah,
I think they are.
It's an app type.
Okay, so we'll add apps read all, grant consent. Cool. Good. Let's do it again. Now, we may have a cache token, so we may have to go get a fresh one. So we'll probably have to cycle it to get rid of the cache, but... Okay. All right, let's recycle this. Why don't we just do a func start? We don't need to debug it right now, do we? We just need to make sure.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We'll just func start it. Func.
You better make it work. You got 10 minutes.
Oh no, I know. We're about to run out of time, aren't we? If this doesn't work, I'm going to be super disappointed in myself.
In myself. Parents. We're all disappointed with you, GP.
I know. Story of my life. One disappointment to the next. That's the goal.
Let's see. Oh, what happens? Let's see. Oh! Now, what do we have?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We have none of the data that we have none of the data that we tried to send back. So the roles claim that the extra roles claim that we added, which we did this down here, right?
Yep.
So the extra role claim that we added nothing got put in there.
Is that what we need to send back? Do we not need to send the full JSON back? Or do we only need to send the things that we... Wait, is that part of the app roles? Is it part of the application claims that we have? Did you check that in? Did you check the checkbox for the roles?
Well, so the roles one we were just going to try to add, since roles is a built-in one, we were just going to try to see if it would let us override it, even though it said it wouldn't. But the other one, the user roles not being there, that's the one that's surprising to me. So let's go look. Yeah, maybe the user didn't have app roles.
If you go to your app, if you go to your flow, when you select the application claims, if you remember in the docs, it said it needs to be returned so it can be overwritten.
It has to have a value. Bolt's right. I would bet it didn't return any data because I'm not a member. Let's go pull this app.
I see.
I'll go put myself in an app role for this app. Let's go do that.
Right. Which is also common in Azure AD as well, right? If you're not, if you don't have any roles, you don't get anything back.
Okay. Let's find our app.
Well, good catch, Bolt.
Good catch, Bolt. What would we do without Bolt? Well, it would be a lot more boring, I think. And we'd spend a lot more. Oh, wait. No, look at that. I am in a role. Thank you very much. Although maybe it's not the same account.
Your Gmail. Yeah, it's not the right account, is it?
That's the account I'm using to sign in.
Oh.
And of course, you can't see the user identities.
Assign roles? Assign roles? What's your role?
Well, these are directory roles.
Oh, sorry.
I'm looking at app roles. So I'm in a role called writer. Oh. Well, so let me just I guess we'll just debug this thing.
Yeah.
I need to change. Is it in host.json where you can set your logging level for different things? I think it is. Let's change this to debug, so we get the logs that we have in there. Okay. Func host start.
It's not running on the other. Did you terminate the terminal?
It was the terminal in here.
Okay.
In VS Code. So I am a member of a role if I'm using the correct account, which I'm 99% certain I am. Okay. I am a member of the writer role.
Yes.
So first, let's see if we actually end up. First, we'll see if that claim is getting there. If the fact that I'm in that role is actually being returned correctly from Graph, and if we are, then we'll switch over to the other side and figure out why B2C isn't doing anything with it. Okay. Here we go. Let's go back here. We'll sign in. Okay. Found service principal. User is a member of one app roles. Resolved one app role of value stuff.doer. So I'm a doer of stuff. So it's good. So that means our function is working correctly in the sense that it goes and gets it's going and getting the user's app role membership. So we have those. So now it's a question of why aren't those being included in the claim? So if we look at what gets sent back, let's look at ngrok here. Let's look at what's being sent, and we're sending back action continue, version 1, action continue, stuff.doer in our roles, and then extension user roles. Now user roles, we'll go back and check this to make sure.
Yes, application claims, right?
Yeah, so user roles in B2C, user flows, API enrichment, application claims. Oh, we're not including it.
There you go. Told you. You need to include it. It's fine. Good to know. Right. Let's save this and run this bad boy.
All right, let's save it and we'll do it again. Let's do it again.
Your function is running, right?
Function's running.
There you go. Just
function is running.
Oh, you had in a different window. Interesting. I'm telling you, we're gonna get it this time.
Scroll. Slowly scroll down. There it is.
Yes.
Woohoo! Nice. I need my air horn, but I don't have my stream deck set up. You got an air horn sound, Christos?
I do, but I don't have my stream deck hooked up properly. And we need to work out how to do it with Skype and all that. I think it needs to fit into the microphone. Damn, man. That's good. So all you have to do now, for anyone that's watching, is in your application code, you need to map this claim to your user roles claim so you can do authorize and then have your authorization policy or whatever, right?
Yeah, I don't like that, but because it's in the OpenID options, there's a role claim type. And so you would set your role claim type to extension _ user roles.
Correct.
But this only happens on the first authentication.
Correct.
Meaning, if I change roles and I'm still using refresh tokens, for example, to renew mine, that's not going to work out. But I mean, hey, I'm down with this because it's much closer. Like all those custom policies I had to make this to call APIs, we could throw all that out. Which that in itself is really good because now we don't have to deal with it. Now, if you still need to, if you want to have a claim in there called roles so that stuff like .NET just lights up, that's probably still going to be a bit of an issue because at least as of right now, it is throwing out my roles array that I'm trying to send to it. Now I'm going to poke around and see, like, trying to think of what we could do. I just don't know a way to force that thing to do it, but I don't know. There might be. I have a little bit of a suspicion. There might be a way to do it. Well. Oh no, can't do that.
What?
I don't know. Well, I was thinking partner claim type to be able to translate the two together, but I don't think that's going to work. I don't know. We'll get it sorted though. We will figure out a way. But anyway, for now at least, you can get extension attributes, and you can take those extension attributes or even these other attributes, and you can load them with data from an API, and you don't have to go to custom policies. And that alone in itself is worth a party because so many times that was the sort of thing was like, well, I need to call this API, and it's like, well, you're going to have to go to custom policies. And, it kind of sucks. It's like, what am I going to do? So I am pretty pleased about that. Like, I think that part is super cool. So,
and with 2 minutes to spare, by the way, which is insane.
It always happens this way.
Yeah.
Granted, we were talking out of our ass for 45 minutes.
25, 30 minutes.
25. Hey, how optimistic.
Tapes are good. I mean, I'm going to check back the recording to see how long it takes. But, I mean, do you think that if we didn't have to, the fact that we had to use your own function meant that we didn't have to, or the existing infrastructure wouldn't have to write a lot of stuff from scratch. If you're implementing roles now, then you have to create a database. You have to create the custom roles in B2C, the custom claim. There's a lot more work to be done if you want to enrich your claims. So I think we short-circuited today by showing you just the API integration. But if you need to do everything end-to-end, there's a little bit more work involved in the process. But at the same time, the code that we needed to do was not that much.
Yeah, I mean, in this code, we've still got this code out on GitHub. So of course, feel free to go out and check it out and contribute. I will publish. I'll push these changes up here soon. In fact, I'm going to put it up here on the screen so everybody can go and see it. It's in our 425 show. It's in our 425 show organization. Go out and feel free to contribute or feel free to use it. There's a lot of extra stuff in there because there's a whole sort of admin management piece of how do people get into these roles in the first place. But being able to use that and use app roles without having to have an external database of them that you manage, that to me is super, super powerful. And that's what I'm so excited about with it. So InstaFluff is streaming. Should we go raid InstaFluff and see what he's getting into today?
Absolutely. InstaFluff is the best way to close the week.
Yeah, let's go see our friend InstaFluff. I'm not sure what we got going on next week. I think we've got some guests next week, which will be kind of fun. But come join Discord. Come hang out with us. Bolt will be out there as well as all of our other good friends. Lots of questions. It's gotten really busy here in the past few weeks, too, I've noticed.
Yes.
So, come out and hang out with us. And if you have any questions, of course, you know how to reach us. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all next week. Later.